So what I'm going to be doing today is pretty much showing you how to rank on over 40 different websites, LLMs, within the space of 2 weeks to 30 days. And I did this to prove a point on one of my websites that I've had for over 8 years, and it had 400 different pages. I deleted every single page apart from the home page. I wiped it clean because I wanted to prove that this really does work. And before we used to rank on around about 5 to 6 different websites. That would be DuckDuckGo, Bing, Google, obviously the main one, and then ChatGPT. Right now we rank on over 50 different websites, and that's pretty much most of the AIs, Copilot, then you've got Gemini, like you name it, we're ranking everywhere. And there's a huge shift happening right now with old websites and the old way of doing, copy on pages, also doing blog text. So you're going to see within the next 6 months, by the end of the year, that anyone who's still got old websites and they haven't adjusted, you can still keep the blogs, you just have got to adjust the way that you're doing it and the way you explain the information on there. And even if you've got a website and you're only getting, you're doing ads to it all the time, I'm going to show you how to get organic traffic that literally just rolls in every single day. So once you've set this up, this is just free traffic technically that you're getting to your website every day. So it's going to reduce the costs that you're paying on ads, and it's really, really simple. It's not rocket science at all at this point, because I've done over 200 calls in the last 3 months with people building AI and other companies who are trying to build, and most people are pointing towards ads to try and get leads, and very few people actually focusing on their own websites. So I'm going to jump straight in. If at any point you can put your, sorry, there's a few people on the waiting list. You can put your hand up like in school. If you click, there's a hand at the bottom. So if anyone's got a question at any time, pop your hand in there, and then I'll stop, and then I'll answer questions, okay? Please stop me. It's not like you're going to throw me off. I do this all day, every day, so I can just continue as we go. If I've gone a little bit too far, you've got something that's happening on your current website at the moment. So yeah, we're going to jump straight in. So I'm going to be doing a live demo here. I'm not going to be just talking about theory. So I would like to say I'm going to shut up and show you, but actually I need to keep talking with this. So you'll probably find as well that I might over-explain certain things, but this is so the summary and the transcript of the call can then be fed in to train my brain and also train for the future. Because if every time I do these calls, within the next couple of weeks, I've got a full course that I can then release across all of my social medias, which right now I'm posting 4,000 times across 16 different social medias. And I'll show you something interesting later on, because we're going to increase that number. So this is how easy it is right now to start ranking. So I do have my websites connected to the AI. I host my websites on a company called Netlify. Yes? Yeah, I'm recording with someone else, but I appreciate that. I'll pop that one back on. Cheers, buddy. I'm recording on three different things to make sure that we don't lose this, and I have to repeat myself again. Let's just pop that out of the way. Perfect. So I'll do a live demo. So just so everyone knows here, I host my websites on a company called Netlify. And it's great right now, if you've got multiple different websites, we have around about 35, I think we're hosting on it. And rather than paying, each individually, you can put them all on the same thing. You can connect it to GitHub, which is where we actually store the code of the website. So rather than using things like WordPress, Wix, like these are going to be massively hit extremely soon, because the AI hates these type of websites because it's very rigid and it can't read what's on the site. So this is why we build our own sites. Yes, you're not going to understand everything, but I can nerd out in a different chat. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a blog post. So very, very easily, we're going to go to this company here, which is called findquestions.com. Because right now, the way with old SEO, you used to have to put keywords in and it would be like a really lengthy blog. That's gone. So completely forget. Anyone who tells you different is doesn't know what they're talking about or is just trying to bullshit you. So right now the AI wants very simple questions or a very simple header, and then underneath it just wants like 200 to 300 lines. So all you need to do, you can just go to this company here. You can do it multiple different ways, but this is one of the ways that I like to do it. You just put, for example, Mentalist in Dubai, click find. Ah, brilliant. Okay, let's start again. Take two. It's been a long day, guys. Right, now you got my screen, yeah? Perfect. So what we're going to be doing is just going to this website here. There's multiple different ones. And what this website does is it finds questions, topics that are on the platforms. So on Reddit, on Quora, on Medium, and got very high upvotes, but they don't actually have any, they don't have any blog posts or anything on Google. So it's very easy to rank for these specific keywords. So all you do is you just go in, pop in, Mentalist in Dubai or AI services for construction companies, and then it's going to give you a list of 40 different topics and 40 different questions. You just pop in your email, and then it's going to go straight into your email where you just go and download the PDF in here. And I do this at scale. Like, I'm not doing this slowly. I'm downloading, 20, 30 of these files at a time. And as you can see, this is what I'm using to then build out not just blog posts, my whole website. Because I specifically know that these questions or topics, not too many people are targeting. So if I want to rank within 2 weeks to 30 days, I want to go for, it's called low-hanging fruit. So once we've got it, we're just going to download that. So once we've got it there, I'm just going to go back to the AI. So in here, I'll explain my setup as well, because I think it's quite important. So with Claude and Claude Code, you can use it on the Chrome. So you can use the actual app on the Chrome. I virtually never use that because you're extremely limited, but it's a very good way to kind of get started with the AI. You can have projects. Then another way is downloading the app onto your desktop. So you can have the app on your desktop, but then you normally find it crashes. The best way that I have found right now is download an app called VS Code, and then literally just speak to your Claude on your Chrome and ask how to set it up. I'm not going to show you how to set it up, it's boring, but at the end of the day, anything that you don't know, you just ask Claude, and then it will help you and it will give you step by step. I highly recommend that whenever you're setting up databases, wherever you're setting up a website, a system or anything, it can be quite difficult. Like, I don't know how to do these things. All you do is screenshot what you're looking at and say, this is what I'm looking at, what's the next step? That's literally how simple it is. You can set up very, very complex systems with Google, emails, even if you don't know how to change your password with email. I don't bother looking, I literally just screenshot it and just say, I need to change my password here, tell me how to do it. And then it will just walk me through step by step. So it might seem that this is, super, super techy and quite difficult to get hold of. You'll be used to this within at least a week. And the reason I like this is because I can be working on multiple different chat windows at the same time. And this is how now I do more work, honestly. Within a month, I probably do more work than I could do last year in the whole year. And this is not an exaggeration. This is being genuine. Through here, I can have this one working because right now it's pulling me leads, so it's targeting cosmetic companies in Ireland and stuff. Then I can be working, for example, on Stephen's profile. I could be working on James's at the same time. And then here I'm actually analyzing my Google on the website. So I've set all that up. But for this explanation, this is how easy it is, and this is what's going to be the prompt. So first of all, you're going to need the skills, and I'm going to send everyone the skill after this. But if you don't know what you're doing, you literally just tell it, hey, look, I want to make a blog for my website. It needs to be ranking on SEO, all of the social medias. It needs to be ranking on the AI as well. Keep it simple, straight away, and then be like, here is the PDF, and use this PDF to build me a blog. So all you're going to do is upload the PDF. I've already got 2 here, so it can use both of them. So I will send you this skill which I've already made. I'm doing this on one of our clients' accounts. So you can see here, this is how fast I can build stuff. I want one blog for James' site and use the PDF questions I have attached for the blog. Now, I'll get into the skills and stuff like that after, but what this does is virtually, you've heard of agents online. Everyone keeps talking about agents, but agents can do things for, sorry, somebody's coming in, just going to let them in. So with agents and skills can be a lot more pinpoint. So if you're doing the same thing again and again and again, you don't need necessarily agents for it. What you need is skills. So get them into your head as well. So there's differences. There's agents, which is kind of like the marketing agent that can deal with multiple different things. You've got skills, which is a specific thing that you want it to repeat again and again and again. Then you've got scripts as well, which a script might have multiple skills in. I know that's getting quite technical, but if you're jumping into this is an interesting thing, and you kind of need to start to know it as well. So all I do now is hit go. And what it's going to do, it's going to build the blog. I'm going to jump on something else because it might take a couple of minutes. But as you can see down here, this is why I really enjoy, and it's so much faster to work in VS Code, because I can see as it's working. So I normally have a big screen, so I will have at least 4 of these pages on my screen. So I can be building blogs on 5 different or 4 different clients' websites at the same time. Now, it's going to ask me a couple of questions. How much does the magician buy? I'm just going to do this quite quickly. Let's just choose that one, and then away it goes. If I really wanted to, and this is what I do personally, I just do 4 or 5 at a time. I smash them out and just let it work itself off. So this is what's great with, and I specifically say Claude Code here. If anyone's using other AIs, I just find that Claude Code is by far the best. It's just super fast. So this is going to be building out the blog for us. So if we're working on something else, I can now just switch to Stephen's, and then I can do exactly the same. And then I can just build Stephen a blog in here, for example, by doing exactly the same steps. Now, what I do highly recommend as well is it's not going to come out pitch perfect. And this is a difficult part to get over as a CEO, as a founder, to not produce brilliant, like perfect work each time. You know, you've got to just get it live. It's about getting it out, and then you can polish it later. And you'll find a lot when building with AI or anything like that, you'll get it to maybe 80%. And then once you try to go that last 20%, it's an absolute nightmare. It breaks. I've been working on this content system for a while. And think about it in a way like once you get to 80%, it's built the house. But then to do that last 20%, you're going to go in and change the doorknob, and then the roof is going to fall off the house. That's literally what happens. Something random will happen in another area. So if anyone here has been using it or they're not using it, if you find that you're getting bogged down and you're getting stuck on tasks, you just got to stop. Like highly, highly recommend, as soon as you get something to work and it's good enough, save that. And if you ever do another update, or you want to update, let's say the skill, you want to make your blogs better, you want to change the colors on the website, clone the repo or clone the document or whatever you're working on, so you keep the working one working. Because if you don't, you'll break the working one, and then you'll probably spend the next couple of days trying to fix what was originally working, okay? So that's a big, big thing that I found the hard way. Like I would get stuck for days on a small thing. So once you've built it, put it to one side, clone it, and then start to improve it. Now, here's some of the blogs that are made, and as you can see here, like I've literally just thrown them up. They're not aesthetically pleasing, but they've got everything in it that the AI wants to see to rank it. And this is the most important. You'll see a lot of people currently making beautiful websites, because it is possible to make absolutely stunning websites on AI. Yes. Yeah, but again, it's just easier. So even if it's in the same GitHub repository, so if anyone who doesn't know what GitHub is, it's kind of just like Apple Cloud or anything. It's just a cloud where you store all your information, just like you store it on your laptop. So what I would still do is, even if it's in the repository, technically I wouldn't clone a repository unless it was a very, very big build. Like, so for what we do for our clients, we've got a 12 build process where we build their whole company, from website to AIs to the whole CRM system. So we've got 12 different builds in there, and it takes multiple hours to do it. If it's a huge build, whenever I make updates, I then clone that, so I leave the working one. So the answer to your question is, whenever you're making big updates, whether you're making it to the whole repo, whether it's just to a small file, if you've got it working, clone it and then work on the new clone. Otherwise, you're just going to find yourself going round in circles trying to fix stuff. And as you fix something, something else will break. Trust me, it will hallucinate, because it's brilliant, but it's not unbelievable. You know, so that's what I would do there. So what I was mentioning with the websites as well is don't just look at aesthetics. And the way I explain it is, there's a lot of people driving around, and the outside of the car, the chassis of the car is a Ferrari, and it looks beautiful, but on the inside it's a crappy Fiat Panda engine. Do you know? So because the AI can't read it properly, the user experience isn't very good as well. So as you can see in here, like, the things that it wants to see is who wrote the blog, or who it is, when it was published. These might seem very simple things to everyone, but all of this is exactly what the AI wants to see. And within this page itself, you've got to make sure that it's structured correctly and it's got the right code. Now, I know a lot of people aren't going to understand kind of what I'm talking about, but you just ask that question. Is this going to get picked up with AI? And then always ask the AI to do research. Whenever I'm working on a new topic, or whenever I'm working on anything, before I even start, I have to have multiple chats and responses about the research. And I only use research from the previous 3 months. Do not use research from before 3 months or 2026 to pretty much do anything in terms of online. I know that sounds very strict, but even if you're going back to November, it will be recommending things that are out of date. The speed that AI is working at right now, and the speed that everything online is changing, it's going out of date within months. Even with YouTube videos or anything like that, make sure that you're watching stuff from that month or from the previous month. So I made this one exactly the same as I'm going to make for James. So it's picked out certain things from the PDF, as you can see here. Can an AI agent really qualify leads? So this is one of the things that doesn't rank. It isn't on Google right now, but it's on the forums. So I posted this, as you can clearly see, it's not polished. I posted this 7 days ago, and it's already getting around about 5 to 10 people going to it a day. Like, that is crazy. If anyone knows SEO, normally it would take much longer. So as soon as I see my pages start to rank, and as soon as I see traffic coming into the pages, then I start to spend more time on it. So literally all I needed to do is go to that website, get the PDF, go to the AI, pop it in there, ask me to write it a blog, and as you can see here, it's already done. So it's done, it's written 2,000 words. Now I'm just going to say, because I can do this, because I've connected it all up, make it live on the website so I can see. So it is worth connecting all of your website and everything else. Like, I don't do any manual design. I don't do any manual kind of things. Like, everything I'm doing now is in here. And this is how amazing things can be. With 1 prompt and then 2 prompt, I can have a blog live on the website. And as I mentioned, it's not just the blogs that we're talking about here. And they're not even that good. This is the thing. Like, they're not even polished. Now I would go in and change the images. I'd make it look a little bit better. I'd change the call to action and things like this on here. So I'll wait until the AI is finished, and then I'll show you the blog after that. Does anyone have any questions in terms of, okay, I can hear something popping off. Let's have a look. Connor, hit me. So Connor and Adam as well. Connor, go first, then Adam, please. Great question. Great question. Yes. So I did miss that out. So yeah, with the metadata, like everything. So it'll be doing all the metadata for you. It'll be researching. And this is why, like, I'll be sending the skill across. So the skill that I've already got in place will already do that automatically. So I'll be able to send that. So if you do know anything about it, you've got to make sure, like, the metadata, like, it'll do everything. Like, absolutely everything that you need, it will do it. And what I like to do is then, once I see the page ranking, like, I don't even care if it's getting clicks. And this is the important thing as well. Look at the impressions, not on the clicks. Because on the clicks, it depends on multiple different things. I just want to see that the LLMs, the ChatGPT, Google are actually seeing that page. Once they're seeing that page, then I go in and start spending more time on it. Then I research, okay, who's on page 1 right now? Who's got the most clicks on page 1? Right, beat them. And that's specifically what I say. Be world class and make sure I beat number 1. And then it will go in there and it will start to update. So, like, I built hundreds of pages like this in the space of a week or 2. Very good question again. So, and this is why you'll find if you're buying agents offline, people will sell them for $10, $20. The AI won't always tell you exactly what you need. So if you're just asking the AI, right, I just want this, it's going to give you a generic answer. So you're going to get generic pages that aren't really ranking that well. This is why I do highly recommend that you do it yourself first, or you spend time researching. So before you start a project, if you generally haven't built a website before, you've never done a homepage, you've never done copy, you've never bought products, don't go to the AI and just ask it to build you stuff, because it's going to build you something very, very generic. Spend the time, a couple of hours, just researching. Research everything about it. This is the most insane research tool that's actually putting a lot of people, like even in the hedge fund world, out of jobs, because of the fact of how insane the research is. So spend that time to learn it, and once you've learned, okay, I need schemas, I need robot text to be picked up by the AI. I need to have 200 words to 300 words maximum underneath the subheadings. So once you know that, then you can tell the AI, and most of the time I'm like, go out and research and tell me what you found. And then I'll tell it to go back again, and then back again. And normally I find the third time it will come back with, it's just insane. And then I go, right, now we've got all the information, now we've got all the research, we can start building. So I do that on every single project. I do not start a project and believe what Claude tells me straight away. Trust me, it doesn't know what it's talking about all the time. And a very good trick as well that I do on all of them is I ask it to rate itself after every single response. So normally, even that blog that I just did for James then, I would still ask it, okay, what do you rate this out of 10? Right, exactly this. Just about, rate your... Apologies for the loads of spelling mistakes, it's got terrible because at the moment I just type as fast as I can. So it's going to be doing that. Adam, you've got your hand up. You've got a question, mate? Yeah. So you want to move the current pages and the current copy onto the new website? So there's 2 ways you can do this. You can either just set a complete direct for all the blogs which are going to go to the new website. That will work, but after a couple of months, Google and everyone else will clock on, and then you'll find that you'll pretty much lose all of that traffic from the different areas. I'm not saying that that's a bad idea, but what you can do is literally just, and I do this a lot, just go in and be like, look, see this website? I want you to copy everything from that website, miss nothing out, no line, no comma. You copy everything to this website, and it will just do the direct copy of everything on there. Now, the new website's going to take time to rank. So what I would do is kind of change that over. It's not ideal, but change that over. But I would completely change every single page as well, the copy. You're going to need to anyway, because the way that it's changed with SEO, even if you made these blogs 4 months ago, they're out of date. Trust me. So I would go through, and Claude is just as good. Spend a little bit of time to do the research, and then as you're doing it, if you try to do maybe all 400 pages at the same time, you're going to max out your credits straight away. So what I would recommend doing is just do maybe 10 or 20 pages a day. So keep the same format, keep the same images, keep everything. Just get it to put it onto the new website. Keep the same keywords, for example, but just change and update the blog to make sure that now it's compatible with what the AI wants to see. Amen. So now we've done the copy for the pages as well, and if you have got any old websites or you've got any old information, this is brilliant. People starting from scratch are starting from way further behind. Now I just copy all of my documents that I've got, go into your drive, go in everywhere, and just throw them into the AI and ask it to summarize, ask it to build out the correct files for you. And once they've got in there, it's going to be a lot easier. So if you are doing the transition from one website to the next, just get the AI to do it all for you. Tell it exactly what you want. Like, before you do any manual work, realize that you no need to longer do that. So what used to happen before is your thinking time would be round about here, because you'd always be working, and the amount of time you had to actually do the work was always up there. Now these are switched. So the amount of time that you can start thinking about business has gone up, and the amount of work that you actually need to do is gone much more down. So this is why anything, just start using it, and once you start using it, you'll get better and better. So some extra things that you can start building. Now I've done the basic website, and this will, as I mentioned, if you do this, you'll start ranking within 30 days. And then there's a few other things, domain rating and things like this, which is the strength of the domain, is still important, but it's not as important as it was before. So if you've got a brand new website, you're not going to be able to rank, for example, Instagram growth. Like, there's just no way that you're going to be ranking for that. But what you can do is then you can go into Google, set all your social medias up, set yourself up in directories, and by doing all them little things, you're going to create a better trust score for the AI. This is getting quite technical, so I'm not going to go into it too much. Now I'm going to explain what is possible to be building on your website to go ahead of the rest of the competition. So, I'm sure everyone's got sales decks and things like this, because once you've got your website primed, once you've got the traffic coming in, now you've got to start closing the traffic. And you can be building some insane things for your sales call. So here's a few things that I do. So as soon as I get a lead in and they message, I built this audit system. Now I built this in about an hour. I've got multiple different data scrapers in it, and because it had all the information of my company, what it does is it audits the person's website or the company's website or online, what's their online footprint, then matches it against the products that I sell, and then shows them what they need. So just something as simple as this, like before I've even got on the call with anyone, and this is why my acceptance rates for calls is very high, and also people jumping on the call, it's very, very rare that people actually miss calls, is because I go the extra mile and I push and I send them a lot of this documentation, audits and stuff, just so they understand a little bit more about. I do play on dopamine and kind of the scare tactic a little bit with certain things, because this is very, very good, if they see, but this is all true. So these things you can be building quite fast, and I host these on the website. So this is just a web page, so every single client gets a web page. And so I don't need to be doing them all the time myself. Like, I have certain agents in here, so say hello to Joyce. Joyce is my COO, so she deals with all of the work once the staff are doing it. And then we've got the audits in here. So if any one of my team members or staff members needs to do an audit for a client, if that's going to work, all they need to do is just go in and they just speak to Joyce, give the company name, and then she just sends the audits or reports or whatever they need directly to their chat. So it's all about, as I mentioned before, it's saving time. Stop building stuff that you don't need. Find where you're wasting time. The amount of time I spent doing audits and proposals, I hate it. So this is why I built this. Then also when I'm on the call. So this is incredibly valuable, and this has really changed my game as pitching, and also to understand where I'm going wrong. So on every single call, I record it, the transcript, all the times. And then after I'd done around about 20, 30 calls, then I asked the AI, I went, okay, like I need to start closing a little bit more. I want you to find all of the objections. I want you to build me questions. So as I'm on the call, before I even start going into the pitch deck, I just flick through a couple of these. It jogs my memory. Again, this is just a website on the page. I didn't build this. This was just built with the documentation and the knowledge that I had in. So I'm just asking these questions. And then once I've got the answer to these questions, I then decide what pitch to give them. Because each client might want something slightly different. Somebody might tell me they've got $2,000 as a budget. Somebody might say their biggest bottleneck right now is they're getting so many leads they can't handle with it. Another client might say their bottleneck is, you know, they just can't get any leads. So depending on what they say there, depends on what deck I actually show them. And this kind of stuff would have taken weeks to build. Each one of these is quite intensive. You know, it's not super fast. It did take me a couple of hours to build these. But now I've got the information in the AI. I've got about 5 of these. So on every single call, I decide what deck I'm actually going to show them. So think about, especially with these kind of things, is a lot of people are trying to just automate things for the sake of it. Stop thinking about trying to automate things and start thinking about how can I make this incredibly custom for the client. And once you start to go super, super custom, that's when your reply rates increase. That's when your conversion rates increase as well. You know, if you're sending a proposal, see if I can find one here. If I'm sending proposals, I might have another one. But if I'm sending a proposal, for example, after the call, my transcript goes straight into the AI and it builds me a specific proposal for that client. Like, I'm not then spending the next 5 or 10 minutes, you know, writing or giving them a generic proposal. It's all about speed. So they get their personalized audit, then they get their personalized proposal, they get their personalized, custom deck as well. And all these things are honestly just a complete game changer in this world. You know, it will take time to kind of figure this out, but it's a complete game changer when you're doing these things. So let's go back to James' second. As you can see here, as I said before, rate yourself 7.5. That's quite high, to be honest. Most of the time it's quite high because I've got the skill and I want a 10. Don't overcomplicate your prompts. Like, this is another thing compared to what you needed to do before. If you were working with, I'm actually going to open that up as well. So this is now live on the website. Brilliant, perfect. You know, some things don't always go exactly like that. It's probably because it's just updating it now. So when you're doing the prompts, keep them super simple, keep them straight to the point, and if you can add more information to be more clear in terms of what you want, be more clear. And it's important to bear in mind with these kind of things that when you're asking the AI for a specific thing, it's got billions and trillions of possibilities. So if you just say, build me a blog, it's, you know, I don't know the exact number, but it's probably got billions and trillions of different possibilities of what it can do. It can put a comma. It can start with a certain word. So the more that you start to narrow it down, so when you're doing prompts, you want to tell it what you're doing, but you also want to tell it what you don't want. Because if you tell things that you don't want, then it really, really narrows down how many possibilities that can kind of happen. So if you do feel that you've been a little bit brief with the prompts, go that extra mile and just add a little bit more information. So keep them simple, keep them to the point, And the biggest thing at all, and this is what I struggle with at the moment, is try not to get pissed off with the AI, because it can just, like, I've been working on this one for ages, and it just kept messing up. Like, I've been on this for 2 days trying to get the leads, then something else will happen. But finally, you know, if you work on it, this is the result. So now, if anyone knows what Clay and stuff like that is, I built my whole lead system, which this is now outbound only for email at the moment, but next week it will be outbound for WhatsApp, SMS, voicemail, LinkedIn, Telegram. So all this is automatically built from a prompt. It's taken me a while to kind of do, but it pulls all the data, what inbox they have, all their names. You know, for example, up here, it's frameworks of what's their website built in. You know, if they've got a chat widget, if they've got a booking, if they've got, you know, how's their website. And then it identifies, for example, what I need to pitch them. So it's outdated website, this person's got no live chat. Then it overall score, so it knows, you know, when to target them. I've got their revenue, which it doesn't even normally know how to pick out their revenue, but I can do this because there's so many data points that it gives me a ballpark figure. Then once it's got it all, sometimes it doesn't get everything else. You know, at the moment, it's not getting anything with Instagram. One of the biggest things that I found right now that is getting a great response rate is using a hobby in your email marketing. Like, this isn't working brilliantly right now, as I mentioned, and this is why I'm not touching it, because it got to 80% and I tried to go over the top and change this, and then it broke. And it took me a day to fix it. So, but you see, like with here, it builds their subjects, it's building them. Each person has a fully custom email. So now that that's running, like that, when I started the call, I started to pull these leads. So right now it's at 161. It will keep going until it's 500. So these are the possible things. Like, just so you know, this probably costs around about $1,500 a month if you were to pay the company. But right now it costs me about $200. So you can massively expand what you can do in business, incredibly expand what is possible. You can reduce the costs of what you're paying on all these different things, and yeah, provide a better product for your customers. I'm really, like, this is speed. And when I'm talking about all this, just so everyone knows, I started doing it obviously working with AI, but I actually started building these kind of things on February the 21st. So I've had less than 3 months to build all of this, and this is why when I'm saying I can do more in 1 month than I literally could last year, just with the speed, fraction of the cost that I've explained here. I'm going to just do one more thing, and then I'm kind of going to open it up and answer everyone's questions. So if you really want to start getting like ranked on Forbes, New York Times, this website is great. It's called featured.com. So you can set in your specialities. So you can see here, somebody's looking for Gen Z and millennials who have lent at least $1,000 to friends within the past year. So I thought this was going to die off, but it's actually coming back because the generic answers that the AI gets, you know, people want real life stories. So all you do here, this is great to get backlinks and be featured in Forbes or The Guardian. And when you are featured in The Guardian, then you add this specific post to your website. So when the AI looks, the website goes, oh my God, like this person's been on The Guardian, they've been on Forbes, this must be a huge company. And then they track it. So you can sign up here, it's free to sign up, and then all you need to do is they'll ask their question, you just answer it, for example, and say, hey, look, this is my experience, this is what I would do. And then if they liked your answer, they'll then contact you and you can write an article for them. Obviously, you're not writing the article, you're getting Claude to do that, but if it's trained on your brain, then it will be, you know, specific to actually what you're doing. But you will find you'll probably have to, my ratio is about 5 to 1. So I'll send 5 articles and try it out 5 times before they actually post one. But it will mean that you can, like, look at the websites, like you can get ranked in all of these. And then, you know, you can put them on your website as featured in such and such. This is how most of these companies, unless you're paying about, to be ranked, for example, on Forbes, you're paying around about $1,000 on US Today, about $1,000. So if you've got the time right now and you put, like, I'm going to be building a skill for this. So all I'm going to do is download this whole page. And then I'm going to put it in and it's going to tell me, okay, these are the people you need to go after. Here's the answer for you. So this is the level of what you can do as well. do it manually at the start, but then after that, like build something. My rule of thumb is if I have to do something more than twice, I don't do it the third time. I build it in AI, and then I let the AI do it. And from that way, you can just work drastically quicker. So, I know that was a lot of information. I will be sending the summary over and things like that. I think it would be a good idea to kind of just open the floor and see questions that people have, and I can go through it. Yeah, first one, Connor, hit me. Yeah. Not quite there. I wouldn't start, like my technical deck, obviously I've got years of experience doing this. Not necessarily with AI, but my main thing is document first. So start using it and start getting all of your information into start formatting it into the brain. I call it the AI brain, which is just a folder, really. So once you start putting the information in there, and then you can have a look and be like, okay, I need to work on my website. Then start working on that. Don't start trying to plug in loads of stuff that you don't really know about at the start, because then you're going to do it wrong. So if you know how to do it manually, you're then going to know how to do it with the AI, and you're going to be able to tell the AI how to do it better. So that's what I would do. Don't start trying to plug in everything. Just get using it, and then learn exactly the same as I did. Like learn bit by bit. Oh, I need to automate this. How am I going to automate it? And then start doing the research on it. And then once you understand and you learn at the same time, then you're like, okay, brilliant. Now I want you to build that out. So that's how I would go with it. Otherwise, you're just going to trip over yourself. You'll end up setting up things that you don't really know about, and then you'll just create this massive hairball that needs to be stripped away and started again. Yeah. Stop. So just so you know, it is extremely complex. It's extremely complex, but you can get there. But again, learn it, research, mate. That would be my main thing straight away. Yeah, you use Claude and Ask and research. Every single time that I'm doing work, I ask it to research and then it teaches me. So when I'm doing any work on something that I've never done before, let's just say the content system, it would teach me on every single. So when I'm waiting for the answer, I'm reading what it's been teaching me. So then I'm like, that's a great idea. And then, so I start out with a small idea in terms of what I want to do. For example, with you, I want to automate the website. So that's your main idea. That's where you start. Claude, I want to automate my website. This is my current stack deck. This is what I'm doing. This is my website. I don't want to start building now. I want to start figuring out what is the best way to do this. Go away, research from 2026. Then once we've got the research and we know what the best angle is, then I want to go out and build it. So then you know how your system's built. Because so many out there, I'm watching these videos and I'm like, they have no idea how they're building these systems, because they're just building with the generic prompts. So if something goes wrong, that's it. And they'll never really kind of be able to branch out massively and build more sophisticated things. So yeah, researching bit by bit. Yeah, man. Be the bull in the china shop. That's what I call myself. I am a bull in the china shop, smashing everything up and just running around. Yeah, that's how I like to do it, and that's why I'm working at such speed. And as I mentioned, once you get to 70-80% and it's working, leave it, move on. Don't keep going. Adam. Yeah, so the brain is extremely important. Extremely important. Think about Einstein in a 3-year-old's body. That's what Claude is, until you get the decent brain in terms of you start to do it. And on that is research, mate. Like, I'm not going to tell you because I build it out for our customers and stuff like that. It's like extremely complex. What you can do is the CEO of Claude is very good. So I follow him. We always get it. Like Brandon and I, we're the ones who are in the brain all the time. What I would do is, the main thing that I would say from day one is your Claude.md file, which is technically your main thing, like where it's going to look. Never be over 150 lines, and make sure you've got it in there. But what I would do is do some deep research on it. Go away and find the right people. A little hack that I have, I built it as a bullshit detector, but now I use it actually to get a lot of information. So just go and get reels, go and get YouTube videos, somebody's Instagram username, pop it into Claude, download like an MCP, which is like a specific tool to download the video, and then just be like, hey, look, this guy is really, really good and he has an amazing brain. Download his last 10 videos, figure out what he's doing, and then build it for me. I'm not reinventing the wheel here. I'm constantly researching. I'm looking at all these different people who are higher, kind of doing different stuff, and then I'm picking. So to speed things up now, as soon as anything comes across I use Instagram personally, anything to do with Instagram and YouTube, as soon as it comes across my desk, I instantly put that person into Claude and I get it to download their last 20, 30 pieces of content. Then before I even start to listen to that person, I say, hey, look, go through all of that, all their information, then find if they are doing more than I am and what level are they compared to me. And it'll be like, this person is explaining things really well, but in reality, you're at a level 8 and this person's at a level 6. So then I unfollow them and I don't speak to them, because there's a lot of wrong information people are copying. But if I constantly, whenever I see a reel that I like, somebody speaking about a brain or the council or anything, I just save that reel, I pop it into Claude, and I was like, go through this, can I learn from this? Or, can I get anything out of it? And it was like, yes, this is absolutely great. Your brain is not structured like this. And I'm like, fantastic, upgrade my brain. But what I would do before you do that is save your old brain, duplicate it. So duplicate that folder and then update the new one. And this is exactly how we work. So sometimes in a week or two, we might make 2 huge updates. Just because, or I might add in a few. We're not making an update to the whole brain now, but we'll start to update certain sections. And as soon as you feel that it's starting to hallucinate and you're getting bad answers, that's the time that you really need to stop and spend the day to retrain the brain and improve it. Depends on how sophisticated. So I've got a main AI brain. So I've got the main one, which is the power. Then for each website in each company, will have their own one, because otherwise it will get messy. If you're working on different ones, but I would recommend starting with one, and then once something gets so big, detach it, and then detach it, and then you can have one super master brain so I work in the main one, and then I put things to the others. But if you once your main one gets so big, you've got too many rules in there. So then it just won't listen to any of them, and it'll do whatever it wants. Fantastic. Mr. James. Yeah, let me jog my brain. I think it was originally, I was going to snap my screen in half because it couldn't figure out how to make a decent PDF. So every single PDF kept being broken. So I think you kind of get to these points of where you're using AI and you keep throwing mud at the wall and it won't work. So it got to the point of where, again, with the research, I'm like, this is clearly not working. So if it's like you're running uphill or like constantly with it, you've got to find another way, because there's not one way that fits everyone. You know, I'm doing it this way, but you know, many other people might be doing it a different way. So we're building them out. I literally just went, okay, what's the best way to do this? And I'm like, well, if we just make a web page, and so rather than building the doc and things are moving around, I'll just build a HTML web page. And that's where it got it from. So I give it the information, I give it some images, I screenshotted graphs from analytics. Screenshots are brilliant, by the way. Screenshots that AI absolutely loves screenshots. You can't use them enough. So screenshots, this is what I want the writing to look like, and then I went build me a deck, and then popped off. Obviously it wasn't good, it was probably like a 2 or 3 out of 10, but then at least, and this what really helped me as well with everything, is a lot of time I've got an idea, but I like to visualize it. I like to see it, and then once I see it, then I can start going, oh, well, actually, I'd like that there and that there, and then I just keep on working on it until I kind of like it. So it's not like I kind of really deeply planned this. A lot of what I build comes out of figuring out, okay, how much time is this going to save me, or it's just a side thing. I ask the AI, like, okay, what are my options here? Deep research online, and what else can I do? Like, for example, with yourself, James, you know, it would be, right, I've just done a gig for 300 people. I want to improve the product that I provide to my clients. I tell AI all the time, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know about this. I don't have an idea. I don't know how to do it. But what I do know is I need to go and improve. Go and find the top 5 or the top 10 magicians or the top 10 events companies in the world who are killing it right now. Go and find what they're doing to their products, and then come back and customize it for me. So I get it. I just have an idea, and then it goes away, comes back, and be like, okay, what you could do here is you could have a little mic, for example. You could record it, and then you could make a song. Not the best idea, but you know, you get what I mean where you're going with that. A lot of this is just brainstorming. I spend a good 30, I don't want to put a number on it actually, but I spend a lot of time during the day just brainstorming ideas and going over different stuff, having a look, and then, you know, it might come back multiple times and I just don't like what it's saying, and then boom, there'll be one little piece of gold, and I'm like, okay, let's go down that route. And then I'll just start building and building and building, and then before I've got to the end, I'm like, oh crap, I've just built something really impressive. Right, we've hit the hour mark. Has anyone got any other questions, or are you kind of sick of hearing me talk? Perfect. Brilliant, guys. If anyone missed it, appreciate it, James. If anyone missed it before, I will be doing these like weekly. Now they're going to start, like, I kind of just threw this one up. I came up with the idea the other day and just started messaging people today and yesterday. But there will be more structure to it than, you know, like sending the skills and kind of having questions before the calls as well. So that's going to be coming more to come. I just kind of wanted to get things started. So yeah, appreciate everyone on the call. Any questions you have, feel more than welcome to kind of pinging them over. But the main thing, if you can take anything away from this, get rid of your other tools and start using Claude Code now. There is no exception. It is the best thing that's out there right now. ChatGPT is a 2 or 3 out of 10 right now. Claude is a good 9. It is absolutely unbelievable what you can currently do, and you do not need to be techie. I've passed some of the least techiest people in the world onto this, and within a week they built an app, and they've automated like a massive amount of their job that they just didn't want to do. So yeah, if you take anything away, just jump into it head first. Cheers, guys. Have a good day. Bye.